Right, hello people. This weekend, November the 22nd, we have the Ring 4 card, featuring David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde as the main event, WBC Light Heavyweight World Title. Let's get into the main four fights in the card, starting off with Sam Noakes versus Abdullah Mason. WBO World Lightweight Championship. This is obviously the vacant belt, dropped by Keyshawn Davis a few months ago when he was meant to fight Edwin De Los Santos, I believe. Missed weight, whole drama there. I'm going to go with Abdullah Mason to get this done. I think Sam Noakes is a very, very good fighter, and I think he's got a very, he's been very overlooked in this fight. He's been unbelievable on the British scene, really good. I just think Abdullah Mason is going to have a bit too much for him. I think Sam Noakes is a good pressure fighter. He's good technically with his feet. Like they're not the quickest, but he cuts the ring off very, very well. He's very good at trapping fighters. I just think his hand speed is quite slow, and he leaves his head fairly on the center line. And I think Abdullah Mason has shown exceptional timing and speed throughout his career. So I think he'll be able to time Sam Noakes when he throws. Probably get him out of there in the ninth round. Up the card, Jesse Rodriguez versus Fernando Daniel Martinez. I'm gonna go Jesse Rodriguez, fucking exceptional talent. I don't know much about Fernando Martinez. I know he had a couple good wins in Japan, I believe. Yes, he did. In most recently. From what I've seen, he's a very aggressive fighter. He likes to stay in the pocket, catch and shoot. Yeah, Jesse Rodriguez, angles, footwork. Like he's not gonna linger in the pocket, right? And get suckered into Martinez's kind of fight. He's fucking exceptional as Jesse Rodriguez. So good. Yeah, he's gonna get the nod there. I mean, he's getting in there for an undefeated world champion, man. I don't know how he does stop guys though, doesn't he? Jesse Rodriguez, like, he does stop these guys. I'm gonna go with a stoppage. Late stoppage, I'd say. A fighter like Martinez who's going to stand in the pocket is going to be very much there to hit. Jesse Rodriguez with the ankle is going to just open him up too much. There's no way he doesn't get him out of there. Up the card, in my opinion, the most interesting fight on the card, Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. A fight I've gone back and forth on. For the most part, I was going with Brian Norman. Switched to Devin Haney, and now I'm kind of thinking Brian Norman again now. If we get into the technical aspects of this fight, I believe it's a very, very interesting fight. It's a good little fight. Really interesting to see kind of this is where we kind of see how Devin Haney. I was going to say this is going to be how we see how good Devin Haney is, right? But I mean, he's checked all the boxes so far for the most part, with the exception of the Ryan Garcia fight, of course. Obviously against Jose Ramirez last time out, didn't look great at all. Was on his bike, that's an understatement. Being on his bike is an understatement. That motherfucker was on a fucking turbo bike. I don't know. Jose Ramirez is a great fighter, but Jesus Christ, fucking hell! That was just. I ain't even got words for it. But Brian Norman Jr. coming off some good wins. Not wins that get you prepared for Devin Haney though. Cuevas, Sultan, I can't say his name. Giovanni Santon and Jin Sasaki are all guys who are going to stand right in front of you. Kind of, they're there on a silver platter if you know what you're doing. Devin Haney won't be, which is the kind of thing which makes me think this is a very, very close fight, because Devin Haney has got some things that really exploit some weaknesses we've seen in Brian Norman Jr.'s game, but same thing can be said for Brian Norman Jr. He has some things that really exploit the holes in Devin Haney's game. We've seen Brian Norman Jr. struggle against movers, people who like to stick and move, let's say, like Quinton Randall stuck him behind a jab and was very quick on his feet in that fight. And it's clear to me that Brian Norman Jr. has fairly slow feet, isn't great at cutting off the ring, keeps his head on centre line at times. And against a fighter like Devin Haney, who is very fleet-footed, will stick you behind a jab. If you're not going to get your head on the centre line, you're not going to cut the ring off. correctly to get him into position, you're going to have a very, very tough night. But Devin Haney tends to have, it's got some little tendencies there, which against someone the size of Brian Norman Jr., a puncher like Brian Norman Jr., when his chin is a bit suspect, right? Like, we haven't seen it much. We saw it against Linares and obviously Ryan Garcia. Um, the chin of Devin Haney is vulnerable. It's not a glass chin, but it's vulnerable. His recovery is decent, but he is vulnerable. All you need is moments, right? I've seen Brian Norman Jr. has actually got some very good feints. Devin Haney tends to react to feints in some different ways. He either just backs off entirely, which isn't great, or he will mount an attack. And if he mounts an attack, he tends to lead with his jab. And he does tend to bow and arrow the jab, leaving his left side kind of exposed. And obviously, we saw Brian Norman Jr. get a devastating highlight reel knockout over Jin Sasaki in his last contest. And we saw Ryan Garcia capitalize on Devin Haney, that weakness of Devin Haney with his left hook continuously. I also think Brian Norman Jr. is a lot more creative offensively than Ryan Garcia. There's a lot more dimensions to his game. Um, but I said earlier that his feet are a bit slow. He's not great at cutting off the ring. That Quinton Randall fight was a longish time ago. It was a few years ago now. You know, people have performances like that where they get through it, they win, and they improve, right? It's the best case scenario is you kind of show some vulnerabilities in a fight, but you win. So you're getting the win, but you're also getting a learning experience. So I'm willing to bet he has probably worked on cutting the ring off, and knowing he's fighting Devin Haney, he's probably worked on cutting the ring off. Also, one thing that's going very under the radar is that this fight card's been announced for months, like 4 months, right? He's had a long camp, a 16-week camp at least. The standard's 8. Right, he's getting at least a fucking 16-week camp. He's getting double that. Uh, Also, Devin Haney kind of has a tendency to kind of linger in the pocket a bit too much, and when he lingers in the pocket, he's very vulnerable defensively. Obviously, not good when you're in there as a puncher. So the way I see it going is Devin Haney taking it early, looking really good early, working well behind the jab, being very quick on his feet. His positioning being pretty top notch, not getting caught in many corners, not really getting caught in the ropes, just keeping Brian Norman Jr. kind of behind the jab, working really well, light on his feet, lots of lateral movement. Brian Norman Jr. is kind of stalking Devin Haney. It's kind of if he wasn't so sure of himself, maybe frustrating, right? But and then I see this fight obviously going like that for a while, early Devin Haney, mid Devin Haney. Then we start to get into the kind of 9, 10, 11, 12 round. And I think Brian Norman Jr. is going to have a moment in there, right? Those weaknesses of Devin Haney will present themselves. And if a fight goes long, which with Devin Haney, it fucking like is guaranteed to go long, he doesn't hit hard at all. He doesn't have any type of power, especially especially at this weight class. He doesn't have the power to keep Brian Norman Jr. in his box, and he doesn't have the size advantage like he did at 135 to keep Brian Norman Jr. in his box. So even though Brian Norman Jr. might be down in this fight and Devin Haney's winning it early and mid, Brian Norman Jr. is never going to be put in his box. He's never going to lose the confidence, right? He's never going to, the light at the end of the tunnel is never going to disappear. It's going to be right there. And even if Devin Haney's worked on the bow and arrow jab, worked on lingering, staying in the pocket too long, worked on these vulnerabilities I mentioned earlier, if a fight goes long, which, like I said, it tends to with Devin Haney, people revert back to form and the vulnerabilities will show. And with a puncher like Brian Norman Jr., all you need is a moment, right? You need that one moment. And I see it coming. I see it being left hook, and I see Devin Haney maybe not even getting stopped, right? But getting hurt with one of these shots and just simply not recovering. And the rest of the fight goes like that. He drops him a few times. Maybe the corner um, throw the towel in. Uh, my prediction is Brian Norman Jr. late stoppage and or um, decision. Of course, Devin Haney by decision. Yeah, but he has to be completely and utterly perfect. Just don't think he will be. He's never been that kind of fighter. He was boxing a very good fight for like 7 rounds against Linares and then got hurt. Linares isn't really like half the puncher Brian Norman Jr. is. Great fighter, but yeah. Also, Brian Norman Jr. is a hell of a lot more, not as limited as Ryan Garcia, let's say. Up the card, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, our main event, WBC light heavyweight world title on the line. 30-0 David Benavidez versus 27-3 Anthony Yarde. My pick, David Benavidez. This is a good fight, but not really an interesting fight for me. I think David Benavidez gets this done by stoppage. I think he gets it done very, very, very convincingly. Anthony Yarde has two weaknesses. Oh, I need a drink. Give me a sec, people. Sorry, people. My mouth was getting fucking unbearably dry. But yeah, as I was saying, Anthony Yarde has two main weaknesses: his defense and his gas tank. Benavidez has two main strengths: his offense, uh, putting his shots together, and his gas tank, his engine, his output. Do you see where I'm going with this? David Benavidez, good fighter. Feet are a bit poor, like crosses his feet, doesn't keep his shape particularly well with his feet. Uh, but he's a good combination puncher. Like he puts his shots together very, very well. He can throw every shot in the book, so he picks his shots very, very well. He's better defensively than a lot of people think. The Vostick fight, which people are going to point out, saying, "Oh, he hasn't been that good at light heavyweight." First 6 rounds of the Vostick fight, he looked really, really good. And I think he wasn't acclimatized to the weight. That's why he slowed down in the second half. Head movement looked really good in that fight. Defense in general looked really good in that fight. He kind of catches shots on his gloves really, really well. Head movement looked improved in that fight. Didn't look so much improved in the Morel fight, but like I said, catching shots on the gloves did look improved in that fight. Um, Punching power isn't particularly potent. Uh, got a good jab, but it's mainly the engine, uh, combination punching, which, by the way, he is remarkably creative with. His offense with his combination punching creatively is he puts together some really creative combinations, like a right hook to the body and then a right uppercut, like coming off the same hand from different angles. Really creative stuff. And like I said, Anthony Yarde, weakness, gas tank. David Benavidez, strength, gas tank. Anthony Yarde, weakness, leaky defense. David Benavidez, strength, creative offense. Anthony Yarde has leaky defense against more traditional punchers, right? Artur Beterbiev and Sergey Kovalev are more textbook than David Benavidez, right? They throw combinations that are textbook. David Benavidez doesn't throw textbook combinations, so that leaky defense is going to be even more pronounced. So yeah, I've got David Benavidez basically breaking down Anthony Yarde, breaking him down, wearing him out, and getting him out of there like by a TKO. Not like he's not gonna knock him out, but he's gonna stop him 7th round, I'd say. Overall, really good card, like ridiculously good card. There's more fights on here. Um, Vito Michelini Jr. versus Samuel Nomaha. I'm really shit with names, but it's not a bad little middleweight fight. Muhammad Akalel, that fucking injury plants on here. He's getting better. He's not terrible. Not great though. Yeah, no, it's a good little night of boxing. I am confused why it's called the Ring 4 though. Shouldn't have Ben 2 been called the Ring 4? Because it was technically a ring show. Isn't this a Ring 5? Anyway, no, really good, really, really good card. It's a shame Baev isn't on it. He was meant to be on it, right? It's a shame that he didn't get a replacement opponent. Oh no, he's not the one who pulled. He's the one who pulled out, isn't he? Yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, no. It's a shame Baev isn't on it, but his fight wasn't that great anyway. It just would have been nice to see him be active. Anyway, I'm sorry if this video is a bit of a mess and I was tripping off my words a bit, but I don't know. I was trying to talk quick. I think I did talk quick. Got it done in 15 minutes. A 15-minute little prediction video. Felt like my breakdown for Norman versus Haney was really good, and my main event was really good as well. It's not a lot you can break down in the main event. I was gonna make 2 separate videos. I was gonna make a video, um, about the co-main and main event, but figured why not just do it as one video. Um, I've been very consistent recently. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.